Oop, gonna finish. In fact, don't want to be interrupted. Ooh, live channels found. Well, I was gonna say maybe there is actually a thing on there, but it doesn't look like it. Maybe it'll. It might be finding the scrambled stuff, and or maybe these are erroneous results where it thinks it's found something, but capitalism, it's weird. Also very shit to live under. Hello, and welcome back to another video. Ooh, with whatever the hell that intro was out of the way. What better time to talk about ancient ass digital television converter boxes than when ATSC 3 is already out, and yeah, sometimes you just get bored of just sitting around watching YouTube. So you do stupid stuff like this. Anyway, here are two boxes, as that just flickers in and out of reception. Up like there. Fucking 8 VSB crap. Thanks, Zenith. Damn capitalist infighting. Have two of these. One of them is an RCA. Damn it, it's upside down. RCA DTA 800B1. And the other is an Apex DT250A. Oh, there it is. And might be that splitter, because I kind of wanted a live setup with both things doing the thing. But yeah, apparently that's not going to happen. So I'm just gonna turn these off and turn both of this off. In fact, speaking of turning on and off, because these are essentially embedded computers, it takes time for them to turn on. But for some reason, it takes a bit of time for the Apex box to turn off. Like, in fact, you turn it on. It's on. There's this on-screen display. You press the power button. Powering off. And, not with the RCA thing, and, so that's an interesting difference. I don't know what the hell that's about. And speaking of stuff like this, these both do not run Linux. No Linux on both of them. They run some actually, probably not this one, but I know for certain not this one. They both run these weird embedded operating systems designed specifically for these, MPEG-2 digital television decoding SoCs. I think this one's running on some sort of MediaTek processor. This one's actually from Broadcom, and maybe I'll actually take the covers off both these. And yeah, I've dumped the firmware from both of these boxes, and uploaded them to archive.org. Which led to a bit of a fiasco with this one, where I accidentally broke the original chip. Had to go rummaging around for the suitable replacement serial EEPROM. Not fun. In fact, even wrote the chip ID on the bottom. But I did eventually fix this one. Unbreak this one, more like. So yeah, the 2000s. Why did the digital television thing happen? Well, some people say it's manufacturers with the whole. I'd like to do a proper video essay or something about this, because the physics part of it is physics related. Radio spectrum, there's a finite set of radio spectrum. That's baked into the laws of our universe, with the whole electromagnetic radiation, which is stuff like visible light. Uh, and so, but like different frequencies of radio waves, they have different properties, and they can send different amounts of data. Giant mess. Well, there's this thing called. Of course, I don't have any sources. This is just me partially pulling stuff out of my ass. Some of the pop culture stuff I have and stuff know about. So stuff like 3G networking is getting off the ground, and going on about 20 years ago. Shit. And the thing is, just like with 5G causing the shutdown of 2G and 3G here in the United States of hell. Can you tell I'm not very fond of my country? Anyway, the reason why the older networks were shut off was because they used the same frequency bands as the new 5G network. Similar thing with digital television. There's a bit of a capitalist infighting. Let's say it was that between the companies behind the television networks, the analog and digital ones. Or maybe they would be fighting each other too. Well, you had two primary groups. You'd have, this is just me kind of educated guessing, let's say. Two main groups. You have the cellular networking companies, and you have the television companies. And, well, the thing is, liberal democracies, they're not uniform things. You have all this. The capitalists may be in charge, but they're not one cohesive block. They fight among each other. So you have the cell phone companies and the television companies vying for radio spectrum. And so, well, eventually the phone companies won out with the which probably had to do with the whole like smartphone, the emerging things of like feature phones that eventually morphed into smartphones. The cellular network companies won out, and so it was deemed that because they won out, they got to call dibs on the kind of, I think it's the VHF, parts of the VHF and UHF bands. Well, more of the UHF bands. And so, in fact, back in the late 20th century, a similar thing happened, but with the analog phone networks, where after some time, the FCC ruled, at some point, the FCC ruled that some channel above, I think, the 60s and on the UHF analog television band couldn't be in on newer sets, which led to some Gen X's and millennials having memories of supposedly tuning older televisions onto those higher channels and listening into private conversations of people on their cell phones, which is not slightly creepy at all. That's not unnerving. Yeah, it's a good thing those are encrypted now. And so, well, with the bandwidth for over-the-air television transmissions being cut off, we have apparently, I'm guessing, the last part was just partially speculation. Now, this part's mainly speculation on my part. I'm guessing I think, again, I'd love to do a proper, like, researched video for this. I think, like, companies like, I think RCA might have actually been one of them. And, but also, like, Zenith was a fairly key player in a thing. I guess because the spectrum for television was so massively reduced, some bright sparks in the companies came up with the probably some weird it's probably for money. I mean, that's how all this like dictatorship of the capitalists. I don't know how to spell the proper French word that will pronounce it. It's actually a difficult word to pronounce. The B word. No, not bitch. The other B word. Uh, uh, Dang it, I just lost my train of thought. Anyway, I'm guessing maybe it was some sort of drive for innovation. But I'm guessing also the whole thing with satellite and cable television might have played a key role in it. Well, clearly, bureaucracy things among companies, I'm guessing that's why all of this existed and why, well, the capitalists being in control of the country here in, well, for the most part here in the West, except for Cuba. Cuba's cool. We all love Cuba. If you don't love Cuba, I'll reply to your comment with like the middle finger emoji, which I think you should be able to see because the comment filtering doesn't. I don't think the comment filtering really works on when you're the owner of a channel and you comment on your own videos. Anyway, so yeah, here in the West, so I'm guessing they were able to, for probably profits and almost only profits and stuff, were able to finagle the, pull weird shenanigans in the politics and stuff, and we're able to force this stuff down our throats. Yeah, that's my speculation on that part. And so you have like government contracts and stuff, which for these television boxes, the whole like old government coupons from the late 2000s, encouraging people to pick these boxes up. But what about the boxes? Enough speculation and me bitching about the this horrible country and how I desire to really wish I was born in anywhere else. Even South Sudan would have been better. At least there it's not. Why? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. What about the boxes? For being government contract funded cannon fodder, the RCA one's actually pretty decent, I will say. It's fairly sensitive. It picks up a good chunk of channels. It's has actually some nice features. All the young Gen Zs and Gen Alphas are probably going to be pissed now that I'm turning this thing on. Also has a couple nice features. If we go to the menu, main menu, antenna. Would you look at that? Antenna signal meter. And it even, turn the volume up. It generates this tone, monotone tone. That's probably not a proper phrase. It emits this tone that changes pitch when the signal level changes. So that when you're adjusting the antenna and you can't see... Ooh, did it do it? What if I wave my hand around? Come on, let me demonstrate this. Come on, give this to me. You son of a bitch. You did that for like a split sec. There we go. See how the tone changed? Yeah, so that you can actually tell, the best position while you're not able to see the television screen. That's actually very clever. That pleases me. Something else that pleases me. I don't have the remotes for any of these things. I have to use this universal thing. Channel scan. Doesn't just scan the channels. You can append any new channels the box might find. That's actually really, really nice. Really nice. So yeah, for being a cheap, nasty thing, whose primary sole purpose in the world was making capitalists even more money, even more ungodly amounts of money, that's not bad. That's not a bad thing. What about the Apex one? Well, turn this TV on. Maybe the buttons are flaky. It's decent in itself. Unlike the but it's not quite as nice due to a couple reasons. Why don't rant number one, why don't both these have proper front panel buttons? Come on. What if you don't have the remote and you don't feel like doing some universal remote? Why is it... If there's no proper front buttons... Okay, this one at least has the excuse of having channel up and down. This has nothing. So why is there even a power button? Ugh. Anyway, I mean, quite nice, decent construction. It's just, it's just plastic and, stamped sheet metal. But, you know, is slightly nicer than, injection molded plastic. Let me turn that off. And S-Video. Yay, S-Video. That's actually kind of nice. Yeah, both of these also, output on, modulated RF 304, for, well, old TVs. Actually, why I came to the realization that the reason why these probably don't, multiplex the digital, signal onto, multiple, analog channels at the same time. If I had to guess, it would, drive up the cost of the SoC because it would have to have much more processing power and memory in order to decode all of the channels at once. B, it would drive up the cost of the RF modulator because it would have to modulate multiple channels all at once. That's probably why. So yeah, so the Apex, kind of similar thing. Someone on, I think, CNET wrote up a text review, and they said, "Oh, the menus are difficult to use." They're not difficult to use. You're just being pedantic. Auto program. Actually, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. Don't do it. It's doing it. Yeah, no append channel, no channel antenna strength signal meter. That's not how English works. Wipe them out. Fuck. And it's not as sensitive as the RCA. Doesn't get as many channels. But the deal breaker for the Apex is it has this weird noise issue in the picture. It's one of those, at least on RF, with that TV, depending on where I put this box, like if I put on the TV, all this noise and crap shows up on the picture. It's not the fault of the TV, it's not the fault of, I think I've even seen over, on this one, on, both RF and maybe composite. So it's not the televisions, it's this box, which makes no sense. This has sheet metal all over it. What are we doing with all this noise? But, yeah, it's a decent box, has S-Video. In fact, there's actually S-Video, provisions for S-Video on the board on this one, and even a hole. I probably shouldn't be doing that, as I was putting quite unnecessary stress on the cables. But yeah, there's a bit of a area right there for the option for S-Video, which would have been kind of nice. What if any of these boxes ever had component? I know the newer ones have HDMI, but boring. Actually, yeah. Let me take these apart. And here we are. Here's RCA from Broadcom BCM 3543KPB 5G. Hopefully I didn't misread that. Some SD RAM. 8 Hynix HY 5DU281622 FTP/5, maybe point at it correctly. There's the PROM that I ripped out, something else to put in there, making sure to program it first before soldering. I don't know why I said that. It's not like I accidentally put it in there before soldering it. And then in here, I'd love to see what's underneath, what the chip markings off this, but yeah, that's glued on, and I don't feel like possibly breaking it. Samsung. There's some marking on the board. Samsung. I can't quite read that, and I don't really care enough to figure it out. There's the PROM. Doesn't actually have any proper markings on it, but my chip programmer was able to determine the size and stuff. Ignore this. What this is a wire I soldered onto this thing's serial UART port, because this thing actually outputs a serial console on that port that you can actually interface with and send commands to this thing. Again, not Linux, but you can do like some fairly powerful stuff. Like, for some reason, rest my pinky finger on the power supply. It's not plugged in, but still. You can do stuff like peek and poke sections of memory. You can might be able to even jump execution around. You can search for stuff in memory. You can configure the NVRAM settings. You can do stuff with the there's sub shells for like the smart antenna stuff, and you can also issue the IRS commands to emulate pressing buttons on the remote. Some pretty interesting stuff. And then I'm guessing that's probably JTAG. I don't know what that is. Might be some sort of debug port. It might be something else. I'm not sure. With this, seems to be a bit more locked down. I mean, yeah, I could just write whatever I want on there. I know, probably boot. There's a good chance this thing doesn't have a locked bootloader on the boot ROM of that chip. But I'm guessing that might be a serial UART port, and that might be some sort of JTAG that connected up there. But, of course, both these have internal switch mode power supplies. What else? I mean, they're not going to put a linear... this comes out, and it's not the best to try and get in. Kind of clicks in. It's very weird. Kind of surprising both of these aren't, you know... They didn't just go with a wall wart. I think that would be slightly cheaper, but whatever. Yeah, that's both of these.